Hello YouTube, and welcome back to What is Syris reading this week. This is week 10 and 11. 10-week anniversary, I mean, that's a lot. Don't have anything special planned. Try and play something for the next week. Before we start, do you like these double weeks? This is going to be another double week. Do you like them? Let me know below. If not, sorry, there's not much I could do. I mean, Also, if I sound a little congested, I have a small cold or something, you know. Anyways, up first was one that was supposed to be done a few weeks ago, but stuff happened, blah, blah. Well, it's here now. Spider-Verse by Dan Slott. As you can see, it's much bigger than most of them. That's because it includes everything from Spider-Verse. Every tie-in, every story, it includes everything. And it's Dan Slott. I mean, you can't go wrong picking this up. It's Dan Slott. Spider-Verse was one of his magnum opuses. And then he made Spider-Geddon. Just, if you see anything that says Dan Slott and it's Spider-Man, pick that up. 20 out of 10. Always pick up Dan Slott. And it's just really great. That's for all the Spider-Man crossover from the other universes. It kind of makes this a title. Alright, next up. Spider-Man Lizard, No Turning Back. This is the story that kind of like set off the Lizard to the point he is now. You know, another Dan Slott, of course. It's a short one. It's only like 688 to 691, so it's really short. It's good though. So the plot of this is Morbius is working at Horizon with Peter and the owner of Horizon, and they cure the Lizard, so he's back in Doc Connor's body. But it's the Lizard's brain inside of Doc Connor's body, so that all happens as it is. This is after the Lizard turned other people into lizards and ate them in the sewers, and after he killed his son and wife. So it's a great wrap up to what Dan Slott was leading for towards the Lizard, and it's just really good. 8.9 out of 10. Like, pick the Dan Slott stuff up. Come on. All right. Next up, Green Lantern Corps, Sinestro's Law. This feels like an alternate reality book, because like Hal Jordan's an outlaw, the Green Lantern Corps just disappears, Sinestro takes over the galaxy as like most valuable protector. It's a long book. It's seven comics in here, as well as a one-shot special. This book's weird, man. It takes directions you wouldn't think of. Like, Sinestro's old at one point, and then he's not. If you want to know how, read the comic. This book's pretty good, actually. Not a huge fan of the Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. You know, I'm a huge fan of Green Lanterns, but, you know, Hal Jordan never really did anything for me. But this I really enjoyed. Yeah. Solid 9 out of 10. Maybe pick it up if you see it, you know? Alright. Next up, Thor, Prey. So Donny Cates wrote Venom for a while. He wrote the King in Black event, which is one of the best Marvel events, modern Marvel events, as well as Absolute Carnage. So he also wrote Thor. He's writing Thor, and he may write Hulk. We're not 100% sure of that. He may write Hulk. But so Donny Cates has been making his characters really good. Like Venom's whole story, that was great. Thor, this one is Prey. In this second volume, so I mean, just go pick up the first if you see it. It's not like a rare book. You can find it everywhere. So essentially what this one is do you remember Donald Blake, you know, from Journey into Mystery, Thor's alternate ego? The one where he stabbed like the cane into the ground and Donald Blake was there? Yeah, me either. Well, he's back. And let's just say he's not happy after being locked underground for 60, 70 years. So he is mad, and he starts going on a blood-killing rampage, and it's just great. Donny Cates wrote this well. Ending's a good wrap-up. I give it a solid 9 out of 10. Pick it up if you see it. Donny Cates runs really good. Next up is Return of the Valkyries. This is a King of Black tie-in. This is essentially what restarted the Valkyries series that's continuing on now, the Mighty Valkyries. You got Jane Foster, a few others, and you got one that's based on the movie Valkyrie. I'll be honest, this book's not great. Sure, King of Black, cool. But as you're reading it, it's essentially word soup. There's so much they're trying to say in so little time. It's 4 issues. 4 issues, and it's word soup for half of those pages. So, I give it like a 5 out of 10. You don't need to read King of Black, just read King of Black. Skip this tie-in. All right, next up, I'm going to do both of them since they're part of a series. Immortal Hulk, number 8 and number 9. Keeper of the Door, the weakest there is. So, let's start off with number 8. Keeper of the Door. The green door, it's what springs Hulk back. That's the point of him being immortal. Because there's the one above all, which is Stan Lee / Jack Kirby. They never really said which one it is. And then, so there must be the one below all. That is a gamma god, essentially, but it's a gamma devil. And so every time a person infused with gamma dies, they go to hell, and they go through a green door, and it brings them back. So that's what the Immortal Hulk's been about this time. Well, this one involves the leader, and he's been doing something with the green door and with the one below all. And you'll see what he does if you read this. So this one, 8 out of 10. Great body horror story, you know. That's what Immortal Hulk is, body horror. Next up, we got number 9. So, if you read the previous volume, if not, just skip ahead till I hold up the next comic, you know, if you don't want spoilers for number 8, then you know that the leader killed Devil Hulk. He killed Devil Hulk, he took Bruce Banner to hell. So now the leader is super strong, infused with gamma, essentially part of the one below all, and Hulk is really weak. Well, it's the continuation of that. You know, at the end of the previous volume, he was about to fight the Thing from the Fantastic Four. Well, this is their rematch, and it's Hulk, and he's being hunted down by the UFOs, the most forgettable supervillain team of all time. Then you got Gamma Flight getting in stuff, Doc Sasquatch, who is Doc Samson in Sasquatch's body. Really worthwhile read. This is the second to last volume of Immortal Hulk, main story-wise, because there's going to be 11 volumes, but the 11th one's just going to be all the one-shots and tie-ins. So this is the final main story one. Your second to last main story one. So this is a solid 9 out of 10. Pick up Immortal Hulk if you see it. It's great. It's a good series. All right. Next up is Taskmaster. So this is a solo series for Taskmaster. Really modern, like 2020s when it came out. It's pretty good. I never really knew much about Taskmaster. Never really read his stuff. I enjoyed this a lot though. So the plot is he is being hunted by everyone essentially, because it looks like he killed Maria Hill while she was trying to find something called the Rubicon Trigger. So he has to go find like Coulson, leader of the South Korean team, I don't remember her name at the moment, and like one of the Black Panther's army people, because they're part of the Rubicon Trigger. So shenanigans happen, of course, and the ending is just, the ending's great. Yeah, so if you find this and you're a fan of Taskmaster, he's a little like Deadpool, you know, not the normal Taskmaster self, a little too much like Deadpool, but that's okay. I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10. You know, if they made it a little more serious, it would have been a little better. All right, next up, we got 3 from a series. We got The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, Volume 10, 11, and 12. So this is from Volume 10 to essentially the end of the series. So first up, we got Volume 10. Life is too short, Squirrel. Excuse me. So, this one is the death of Squirrel Girl. No, I mean, of course not. Why would she die? That doesn't make sense. She's unbeatable, that's the point. So it's a Skrull. This one's about Skrulls. So if you like Skrulls, don't pick this up, because they make fun of Skrulls a lot. That's the best part about this Squirrel Girl, is that she makes fun of everything. So, you know, if you like Skrulls, maybe pick it up. If you like bashing on Skrulls, definitely pick it up. This one's solid, I don't know. Solid 8 out of 10. Squirrel Girl takes a while to read, because you got, like, it's a long comic. And even they say in it that it's a longer comic to read, which, you know, if the author says it probably means it's true. All right. Next up, we got Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, Volume 11. Call Your Squirrel Friend. So, this is a War of the Realms tie-in, and if you don't know what War of the Realms was, so when Jason Aaron wrote the Mighty Thor, no, he wrote Thor, God of Thunder. There's a one where Malekith got released, and then Mighty Thor, Malekith started making the War of the Realms. And essentially what the War of the Realms is he's taken over 9 of the realms, which are like, planes of existence, and the only one that's left is Midgard, aka Earth. So he's trying to take it over, so you got like frost giants, angels, demons, fire creatures, they're all attacking Earth. Obviously the heroes win, but this is the War of the Realms tie-in for Squirrel Girl. And right here on the front, that's Ratatoskr. If you read some of the early Squirrel Girls, you'd know that Ratatoskr was one of her first villains. Well, in this one, they team up because they're going to take down the frost giants all the way in Canada, because Canada is housing frost giants. And yeah, it's a good story. It's a cool team up. I mean, Squirrel Girl, Ratatoskr, they make a sick team. Ratatoskr got a chaos. Squirrel Girl wants more order, so they're constantly bickering. It's really fun. Read it if you want. It's really good. And also, before the whole War of the Realms thing, there is a Squirrel Girl 50th anniversary issue. Well, like 50th issue anniversary. And she fights Kang the Conqueror. Ooh. Yeah, Kang. But Squirrel Girl, pick these up if you see them. Pick them up. This is solid. 8 out of 10. All right. Next up, we got the final volume of Squirrel Girl. Well, of this run. The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, Volume 12. All the squirrels I've loved before. So essentially this one it starts with Brain Drain being kidnapped. If you don't know who Brain Drain is, it's her friend who was kidnapped by aliens in the 50s, who removed all his skin and skeleton and just left him a brain in a jar with eyes. So that's Brain Drain. He's, really smart, so he gets kidnapped. So they're trying to figure out what happened to him. Meanwhile, a mysterious villain's working in the background to destroy Squirrel Girl. Shenanigans ensues, and it's a big battle. There's a big battle near the end, and then Galactus gets involved. It's really great. It's a fitting end to Squirrel Girl. So I give the solid, 9 out of 10. Pick this up, Squirrel Girl. Come on, Squirrel Girl. All right. Next up, Flashpoint. So, Flashpoint was what brought, I believe, the New 52 into DC. And originally, Flashpoint was just going to be a Flash story, just like a Flash solo story for about 6 issues or whatever. But then DC saw their opportunity and said, okay, we'll just reboot the universe. Okay. It's by Jeff Johns. And if you know him, he wrote Blackest Night and Green Lantern, where he introduced the emotional spectrum. So he writes some good stuff. So Flashpoint is, something happened where the world changed. So Barry Allen's mom, this Barry Allen, yeah. Barry Allen's mom didn't die. So who changed it? Barry's guessing it's Zoom. Was it Zoom or was it someone else? It's a mystery. You got the Amazons fighting the Atlanteans, so Aquaman fighting Wonder Woman. Shazam's actually 5 kids this time instead of just Billy Batson, so it's 5 different people. The world's never heard of Superman, and get this. So Batman's origin story, his parents get shot, killed. This universe, since whoever was doing it was running, so it was either Flash or Zoom, they accidentally knocked it to the robber, and he shot Bruce Wayne instead. So Bruce Wayne's dad is Batman, and Bruce Wayne's mom is the Joker. So that's crazy. And so it just destroys everything about the universe, and it's so good. Flashpoint is so good. I cannot recommend this book enough. Read it. You don't need any prior knowledge. Just read this. 10 out of 10. Read it. All right. Next up, we got Stranger Things Science Camp. So if you've watched Stranger Things, in season 3, Dustin just came back from science camp. So you may be wondering, well, what happened at science camp? And this is it. There's a mysterious murderer wearing a Albert Einstein mask. So it's, it's a little fun story. It's only like 4 issues, not very big. And then it also has a free comic book day story with, what's her name? Erica. Erica trying to sell the stuff from the Russians, So yeah, if you like Stranger Things, if you like Dustin as a character, pick this up. It's really good. It's strong characterization, and if you like the show in general, just read it. I mean, no harm, no foul. Come on. So I give this solid 8 out of 10. Pretty good. All right. Next up, we got Ultimate Comics Spider-Man, Volume 4, Death of Spider-Man. And the reason it's Ultimate Comics is because after Ultimatum, they rebranded, so it wasn't Ultimate Spider-Man, it was Ultimate Comics. A bunch of them were like that. This is the Death of Spider-Man. Yep, Spider-Man's dead. Sorry? It's in the Ultimate Universe, that's how Miles gets introduced. This is death. So, if you want to find out how he dies, what happens, pick this up. Ultimate Spider-Man, I always recommend. Bendis knocked this out of the park reading with this. It was absolutely amazing. Always recommend Ultimate Spider-Man. But what I can't recommend is this copy from Cincinnati Public Libraries, because some of the last pages that show the death of Spider-Man are sadly missing, because this page comes out and there are pages in between that are missing. So if you want to read it anywhere else except this particular copy, because it is not complete, so don't read it. You don't get to see his death. It's cut out completely. Whatever. So make sure to read all of Ultimate Spider-Man before reading this, because imagine reading the death and then going back and reading the rest. So read everything before, and you got yourself a 10 out of 10. Ultimate Spider-Man's always the best. All right, last up this week, we got Batman 66, Volume 1. If you watched my review from a few weeks ago, I enjoyed Batman 66 quite a lot. Well, here's Volume 1. And what I've realized is what they're doing is each of the issues is split into 2 stories. One main story, one small story. So this one's main stories consist of The Riddler's Ruse, Chandel's Chatterjuice, The Joker Sees Red, The Hatter Takes the Crown, The Sandman Says Goodnight. So yeah. But there's also smaller ones like Emperor Penguin, The Scrambled Eggs, The Clock King Strikes, and Tale of the Tiger Topaz. So you got characters like Clock King and what's his name? Egghead, I think it is. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. But you got those characters that no one remembers, and you got them here. And it's the campiness of the 60s show, and it's just so great. And, Joker, he still has, his mustache from the 60s show because he didn't want to shave it. So, Batman 66, always a great read. If you find it, pick it up. Doesn't matter which volume. You don't need to know order. Because if there is something that references the previous one, it's in that same one. So pick Batman 66 up. If you ever see it, solid 9 out of 10. All right, that's it for this week. If you enjoyed, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you in the next 2 weeks. Bye.